Hi, very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf Collectibles. Picked this up yesterday at the Bedford Train Fair, and you can see here I paid £30 for it. It says it's a hesitant runner. So the loco itself looks in very good condition, but I'll show you what it's doing. Let's get it out of the box first of all. Not a bad looking loco, not a mark on it, looks pretty good. Now one of the things I have noticed is the wheels are loose. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with possibly something in the drive has moved. But anyway, let's take this over to the track and I'll show you what it's doing. Right, so let me just run this back and forth. I'm trying to do this one-handed with the camera in the other hand. What you'll see is it's sort of got this clonking sound. And when if there's not enough power, it's kind of stopping itself from moving. If you listen, you can just bank out that sort of clunking sound. So it's either a wheel misaligned, I think, or it may be something inside. But anyway, let's get it over to the bench, let's get the lid off of it and see what we can find. Hopefully this is going to be quite a quick repair, but yeah, never know what you're going to find inside these. Right, let's lift the body off of this. So I think, right, I'm going to drop this off first, so that I can get to the fixings nice and easy. That to one side. Right. What do we have in here? So I think we need to get the motor out. So I'll do these two. I'll undo the two at the front as well. What have we got in here? That's the motor free. It looks like it's possibly the centre cog there. Right, let's go from the other side now. Move my pickups to one side. Right, so that's all nice and tight together on there. Oh, no it's not. Okay, move that away. Let's lift these wheels out. This centre cog here is slipping. I'm wondering if that's what's causing the problem. Now when I slide it across, there is a little spline in there. I'm not going to try and get one of these, so I think I'm just going to try and glue that in the first instance, and let's see if that holds it in place. Let's give it a quick go. Well, I did take it back over to the test track to give it a run, and it wasn't fixed. So I've stripped it all back down and had a good look in here, and it's actually still, this cog is a problem. So when the cog's fitted, it pushes onto the shaft, and then some splines on there, and it's an interference fit to give it locked in location. And where it's been pushed on, and I'm assuming this probably happened at new, it's actually split. So there's a hairline crack in the cog. So first step was to get on the internet, see if I can get a replacement cog. Can't find any available. There's not a Hornby spare part. So I had another look at this, and I'm going to try and explain it with a diagram in a moment. But basically the cog's sort of like an egg shape, where it's got a slight split in there. And obviously every time you get to the pointy part of the egg, it's locking up and compressing the center sort of gear train. So let me try and explain it with a diagram. Right, let me try and explain this with a diagram. So at the top here we have the worm gear, and at the bottom the drive gear, which is mounted onto the shaft with the wheels, and in between the two is the intermediate gear. Now the drive gear and the worm gear are both fixed to the chassis, and it's a die-cast chassis, which means there's no play or tolerance between the worm and the drive gear. So anything out of adjustment or out of alignment will not run. So if I just go on to the next slide, this lower gear, where it's been pushed onto the shaft and it's cracked, is now effectively, as I said, some kind of an egg shape. I've actually drawn it with an off-center pivot point, just to demonstrate the point. And as that rotates round, when you get to the top of the kind of top of the egg, if you like, it's now compressing the intermediate gear. So where the worm gear can't move up, the drive gear is pushing upwards, and this intermediate gear is getting pressed from both directions, and it's actually stopping the rotation. So what have I done about it? Well, it's a little bit of a bodge, I'm afraid, because as I say, I couldn't buy a replacement cog. So this dotted line around here is supposed to demonstrate the original diameter of the cog, of the lower gear. And what I've done is I've filed the shape back round to a center pivot point, if that makes sense. So I've just taken the teeth back all the way round, and then where the teeth have got short, I've then filed the groove slightly deeper. So as I say, it is a little bit of a bodge. Now that works for most of the shape, and especially around the sort of, I'm going to say the pointy end of the egg again, but when you get to the blunt end of the egg, we now have quite a small overlap of teeth. So as I say, a complete bodge, but it seems to have worked, and yeah, the loco's running not too bad. You can still hear a little bit of compression when it's running, but it's much better. So let me demonstrate that. Right, let's give it a little bit of power. Forward, rearward. Still a little bit ratchety on the cog. As I say, I did grind one of the teeth back a little bit, so it is a little bit jerky, but certainly better than it was. A lot of control there. Yeah, quite pleased with that. Quite a successful repair. So as I say, paid £30 for it as a hesitant runner. It said on the box, and it's not too bad. I mean, that's worth £30 of anybody's money, I think. So yeah, another successful repair there. A very brief video there, and yeah, if you have found that of interest, please do give it a thumbs up, and do have a look on the channel. There's lots of other model railway things on there, and things that might interest you, and if you can subscribe, you'd be doing me a really big favour. Anyway, we'll leave this one there. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.